right. I think we're up. It told me we are.
Yep.
Welcome to Two Marks and a Spark live for the first time. We have never done this live. Me and Bryce never did this live. Me and Russ have never done this live. So this is going to be fun. We're going to talk about the Royal Rumble, which wasn't fun, but we're going to have fun talking about it because it's wrestling, and you got to have fun somewhere. We're live on Lock TV, of course, courtesy of the Raw Live Studios. Thanks to them for that. This is our first time doing this live. I've been in here before, but never doing this, so this is going to be fun. Russ, first of all, how you doing, buddy? Second of all,
great.
Second of all, what the hell was that?
Oh, that was the Royal Rumble. I think I'm in a better mood than you. It was better than I thought.
I assure you, you are.
I thought it was going to be a lot worse, and so I'm happy because it was less shitty than I thought it would be.
This show lived up to my expectations, and that's not a good thing.
Lived down
because my expectations were low. Anyway, let's get right into it. Russ, I did not watch the pre-show. Did you?
Yes, I did. Well, I didn't sit and watch every minute of it. I paid attention to a few parts. It was on while I was attending to a few other things. Big E, great commentary. They could hire him. ESPN could hire him to do commentary on college basketball. He carries himself like a sportscaster very well.
He's fantastic.
And then, of course, I got to see a little bit of my, your favorite interviewer, backstage interviewer, Brother Byron Saxton.
God damn it.
I tell you, I was good. I saw Byron. I said, I know that you don't like him. I do. That's why I always bring him up. God bless Byron Saxton. Still holding the microphone and standing upright.
And looking like a jerk off. Anyway.
No. He looks fine. He looks fine.
Anyway, let's talk about the Royal Rumble. Let's get right into it.
Right.
Let's talk about the Women's Rumble first. This show starts with 18 minutes of stalling, and I'm not exaggerating there.
Yeah.
They putz around, and they putz around, and they putz around, and they show the wrestlers coming into the ring. And they just putz around, and they show everybody entering the arena, whatever. And then we finally get the cold open that is Triple H doing the most self-aggrandizing fucking commentary you've ever seen over the cold open.
Right.
And it was terrible.
Finally get the match starting at about 15 minutes later.
I think it was 20.
Yeah.
Because Charlotte took 18 minutes to get to the ring.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, finally Charlotte Flair starts making her entrance. She draws number 1, and I'm thinking, okay, thank God Charlotte's not winning this match. Which I was right about that, but I shouldn't have said thank God, because here comes Alexa Bliss. And immediately I knew, this show's about to be as bad as I thought it was, if not worse. They immediately go right into comedy sketch bullshit.
Yeah. Stalling.
For 5 minutes, at least.
Yeah.
They wasted more time at the beginning of this show than me and Rust waste.
It felt like 5 minutes. It's supposed to only be, 2 minutes?
Yeah, supposedly.
Right.
Anyway, Kiana James came out next. She did absolutely nothing. She got 0 eliminations in this match, as did Alexa Bliss. That part was surprising to me, that Alexa didn't get any eliminations, but Lash... No, not Lash. I'm sorry. My mistake. Anyway, Kiana James comes out. She does absolutely nothing other than a hot start out of the gate. They do more stalling. Yet again. Here comes Nia Jax. She wasn't out there very long, I don't feel like. I didn't write how long she was in there for, but she wasn't out there very long. And thank goodness. And They said it on commentary, and I made a note during the show that it felt like she'd never been out before 25. It turns out she'd never been out before 19 in a Royal Rumble. That's why this felt weird.
Yeah.
And it was so bizarre seeing her out there at the start of a Rumble because they never do that with her. Thank goodness they did here. She wasn't out there very long. Charlotte got rid of her pretty quick. Out next came Ivy Nile. Speaking of somebody who did absolutely nothing.
Well, they never give her much to do, unfortunately. She's talented, but not getting anywhere right now.
She did have one cool spot where she hit this like crazy suplex, I believe on Kiana James, and that was about it. Lola Vice came out next, and my legitimate reaction to Lola Vice coming out was, oh, look, cannon fodder. And that was that, and she was gone very, very, very quickly.
Yeah. Not much to do.
Thrown out by the soon-to-be entering Jordan Grace. Candice LeRae came out next. She was also promptly tossed out by Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace got 3 eliminations in this match. Thank goodness Jordan Grace was in the early part of this match, because if she wasn't, I'm not sure who would have done anything here.
She looked good, as always.
Becky Lynch came out next.
But what I expected.
Her and Jordan had a cool stare down that lasted all of about 18 seconds. I mean, really, that's all it was. Sol Ruka, we didn't know it yet. We did not know this yet, but Sol Ruka would be the sole reason this Royal Rumble was enjoyable. I'm going to be honest. She came out and single-handedly almost saved this entire match. Sol Ruka...
I didn't expect her to last as long as she did either.
No, but she carried this match. I mean...
Not being a regular NXT viewer, I'm less familiar with her than you are. But I was impressed with what she was able to do. That's when it felt like the match started to kind of take off a little, pick up a little momentum.
Sol Ruka comes out and she says, "This match sucks. I need to fix this." And she almost did. Then Roxanne Perez. By the way, most of these people didn't eliminate anybody. That was the weird thing. These eliminations this year were so like condensed to like 6 people. And it was so strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, out comes Roxanne Perez. She doesn't do pretty much fuck all. Same with Maxine Dupree. She gets dumped by Becky Lynch almost immediately. Natty comes out next, and credit to Natty. She's been around forever. But good Lord, this woman is just boring.
No, here's the thing. She's not boring. They just don't ever give her anything interesting to do. I mean,
maybe that's the case. I don't know.
You know, I didn't mind seeing her beat up, what's her name? You know?
Wow. She beats up anybody they let her.
I did that on purpose.
Anyway, Liv Morgan comes out next. Natty did get an elimination, by the way. She would eliminate Becky Lynch, which I was stunned by. When they let Natty eliminate Becky Lynch, I said, holy shit.
Right.
Are they going to let Natalya do something? Anyway, Lash Legend comes out next. Lash Legend got a whopping 5 eliminations, folks. 5. Yeah.
Well, they were feeding them to her, and she looked good in purple. And like I said, she's the kind of attraction that you need to use her briefly and hide her weaknesses, accentuate her strengths. You know, listen to me. I sound like freaking Vince McMahon, right? You know, you always had a thing for the big ones. But I was surprised she did as well as she did. I thought maybe they were pushing her a little bit more than I expected. You know, she's like a lot of the bigger wrestlers, though. She has about 5 eliminations in a short period of time. And then she goes over there and just kind of takes it
lays down.
easy with somebody. You take it, get a breather.
Yeah. Out next was Zelina Vega, and
Yeah,
she was out pretty quickly here,
very
but she
quick.
tried. Raquel Rodriguez came out. She would actually end up lasting a lot longer than most people, I think, would have expected of her. Out comes Chelsea Green, who's entertaining as hell but didn't do anything.
Right.
Uh,
With Elba
Julia
Fire,
comes out with Elba Fire.
right, who is still being underused. Good wrestler. They haven't found a good spot for her yet.
I don't know that they're trying to.
No, I don't know if they give a crap, but I wish they would find a good spot for her. She's very well. She's very well talented. Okay,
Yeah, she is talented. Anyway, Julia comes out next. She promptly dumps Zelina out of the ring. And she'd get dumped pretty quickly her own self. But anyway. Io Sky comes out next. And she's not in there very long either, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
But, she only lasts about 4 entrants and Lash dumps her out. Then it was Asuka, Rhea, Bayley, JC Jane, Nikki Bella, all in real quick succession. Pretty much nobody gets eliminated for a while. Then Lyra, Kalani, Kyrie, people start slowly getting trickled out.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Bella came back on this show. I'm not going to talk about it too much. I don't think anybody cares.
You mean Brie?
She was only off TV.
Brie.
Well, no, Nikki Bella too.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's been off TV for like a month.
Oh, yeah. I didn't expect to see her, and I sure didn't expect to see her sister.
No, Brie Bella, a.k.a. Brie Danielson, did return on this show. She was out there not very long, little less time than her sister. And she still is a better wrestler than her sister.
Is this a one-off, or is she going to be around? Any idea?
I would assume it's going to be her and Nikki against Io and Rhea at Mania. That would be my off-the-bat assumption. Yeah, there they are. Those two jabronis. One of them can wrestle better than the other. That's for sure.
Yep. And she's the one that's married to
Bryan Danielson.
Mr. Danielson.
Which is why it was a bit of a surprise that she came out at all, because Danielson's still in AEW. Mm-hmm. But the final entrant was maybe the surprise of this match, which was, other than Brie, which was Tiffany Stratton.
Right.
Who we were under the assumption would be out through WrestleMania.
Yep. Quite a lot.
Comes out at number 30. And along with Sol Ruka, kind of gets this match back on track for the last 10 minutes.
Right. I've never been a huge fan of Tiffany Stratton, but she did start creating some interest here. She did well. Carried herself real well. She's growing on me,
Yeah, she did really well for what they needed her to do here. But again, I've said it a billion times during this review already. Sol Ruka was the MVP of this match. Because it gets down to the final three. The final three are Liv, Tiffany, and Sol. And Sol's not going to win the match, but she probably should have based on her performance tonight. And she does this crazy ass fucking DDT twice in this match. Once to Natalya, and then once again to Liv. And this place did not care about fucking anything. If you didn't know, they were in Saudi Arabia. This crowd was dead for 90% of the show. But they popped every time Sol did this jumping, like, catapult DDT thing she does. And the Soul Snatcher, she did it like 3 times. It looks great. And the finish comes when they're all out on the apron. They've all gone over the top. Sol goes for the Soul Snatcher on the apron, which probably would have eliminated both her and Tiffany, to be honest with you. But Tiffany catches her. That's her finisher.
Right.
That cutter she does.
I would not have picked Tiffany to last that long at all.
Well, Tiffany came out last, so you kind of knew it was going to happen. But she dumps Sol out.
I'm sorry, I meant to say Sol Ruka. So, pardon me. That
Sol
was
Ruka.
the great part.
Sol Ruka gets dumped out by Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton takes a fucking wicked oblivion off the apron onto the floor. Liv Morgan is your 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner. In a very underwhelming fashion, Liv Morgan wins the Royal Rumble. I have been screaming for Liv to win the Rumble for the last 3 years, and they finally do it in the worst way possible, and they do it in Saudi Arabia of all the damn places.
Well, but you did predict it. I think she was your number one pick for when we predicted.
Right, and but she was the only one who made sense other than Bianca. If Bianca came back, she would have made sense. But Liv winning just made sense. If you looked at the booking, Liv winning makes sense.
Yep.
Now, as for who she's going to wrestle, I have no damn clue. Probably Jade, I would assume, because I think she's out of the Judgment Day, because what we didn't talk about is she dumped Raquel out of this thing.
Right.
So what the hell's happening there? There's got to be more drama in the Judgment Day, I guess.
That's plus we got a storyline coming up now between Kairi Sane and Asuka, because Kairi unintentionally eliminated Asuka, so they're going to do some more of that, Japanese master student stuff.
I mean, it'll be good because those two are good wrestlers.
Hey, Asuka's one of my all-time favorites. Even though she didn't do much, Bayley looked good as always.
Well, yeah. And Bayley might have been the dark horse to win this whole fucking thing, honestly. We then had AJ Styles versus Gunther. If AJ Styles loses, he must retire.
Yes.
This was the best match on the show.
Very much
and
so. Nothing else even
there was nothing close to this on this show. This was the best thing on the show.
You got two masters working together, and they did an excellent job.
They go 24 minutes, bell to bell. And this thing, yes, it was slow-paced. Because AJ Styles is old.
Yes. And us old people appreciate the pace.
But Gunther slowed down really well for AJ.
Yeah.
As he always does. Gunther's a master at slowing down when he has to. And they go 24 minutes, and I'm not going to give you a spot-for-spot recap. Go watch the thing. It was really good.
Yeah.
The match ends when AJ goes for a phenomenal forearm, gets caught, ends up in back-to-back sleepers, and passes out. AJ Styles loses in a career-threatening match. It would appear that this is the end of AJ's run in WWE. This may be it for him.
Possibly.
Period.
The only possible out I saw is I noticed that Michael Cole says he'll never wrestle again, and kind of they slip in WWE. There's speculation.
I think he'll either
about TNA, about a run there possibly, but who knows?
Or AEW.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because we talked about it on the show earlier this week that, there was creative plans in place for him in 2019 when the company started, when his contract was up, but he decided to stay in WWE. Whether that was a good decision or not up for us to decide. I mean, Really, he's had a pretty good career there, and I'm going to miss him on Raw because he's really kind of been one of the high spots of Raw lately, but it appears he's done. We get no speech from AJ, which was unfortunate.
Right.
He teases taking the gloves off and leaving him in the ring. He puts them back on, does the hands together P1 thing. He leaves.
Which he just renewed the copyright on a couple last week.
Yep.
The P1 and the phenomenal one. So he's obviously planning on using that for a while.
Maybe it's just for merch purposes. I don't know. That could just be for merchandise.
Which would be great,
Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre was next after 20 more minutes of bullshit, nothing, stalling.
I know.
It was commercials.
I had stuff to do, and so in between the matches, I didn't pay attention to any of the ads or promos or backstage bullshit, so I don't have a clue what happened. And I kind of like it that way. And I always managed to time it that I got back just in time. Because I figure
Sami Zayn gets up
at least 10 minutes,
Sami Zayn gets a massive pop, as you would figure he would.
Right.
And Drew gets booed out of the building. These two have a very good match. And on any other show, this might have been match of the night. But the fact that they went out there after AJ and Gunther just burned the house down for 25 minutes did not help this match because the crowd was not in it. Other than at the end. Back-to-back Claymores for the finish. Drew retains the title. Drew had to retain here. There was no way they were going to put the belt on Sami this quick with Drew having just won it. And by the way, Drew winning makes a lot more sense now that we know who won the Rumble. Like, it made sense anyway, but it makes even more sense when you know who won the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Russ, at this point, where's your head at in the show at this point once that match is over? Are you thinking, don't fuck this up now, or are you thinking, God, get it over with?
I was thinking, please, anything but Brock Lesnar winning this thing. Please, anything. And I was also thinking that for some reason I'd been hearing a lot of the hype, a lot of the talk. So I was expecting some kind of a push for Obafemi. And I kind of thought that he will do really well for a while, but like all of the Giants, then he'll have to go have a resting hold and take a breather. And they did that. Just like, I mean, if you're that size, you're not going to have the cardiovascular of a guy a third your size, obviously. But
no, definitely not. And
going into this, I kind of expected it to be worse than it actually was. I thought it was much better than you did, although there was a few cringy points.
Well, more than a few, but
it starts out with another mystery going on, but we'll get to that here in a minute.
So anyway, they stall again, as they always do. By the way, the SmackDown ring announcer, Mark Nash, was the ring announcer for this show. I thought he did a horrible job today. I like Mark Nash. I just did not think he was very good on the show. He just took forever to explain anything, like Rumble rule-wise. Anyway.
Yes.
Oba comes out. He's number 1. Braun comes out. Looks like he's going to be number 2. He gets jumped by a guy in a hoodie and a mask. And immediately dumped by Obafemi.
Right. Boom.
What an underwhelming mess to start the show.
A guy who looks too big to be Seth Rollins.
Well, yeah.
But that's what they're going to try to play with. Yeah, so now what's up with the Vision, right?
I have 2 questions. Who knows and who cares?
Well, at this point, with Seth Rollins out, the whole storyline just kind of became pointless.
Well,
pointless.
Yeah, and we'll talk about predictions for going forward after we finish recapping the show here because we've got a lot of time. But anyway, Braun Breaker goes out. Obafemi, who they build up for this entire match as this monster guy. He gets 5 eliminations like right away and then doesn't eliminate anybody again for the rest of the match.
Right. It spends most of the rest of the match just standing around.
Which I thought was fucking ridiculous. And then the way they eliminate him later is so stupid. Just wait for us to get there. Solo, then Rey Mysterio, then Rusev, then Cardona. All come out, all go right over.
Where the hell has Rusev been? He hasn't been on TV in forever. That's all.
I don't know, brother.
Story. Yep.
I don't know, brother. He's missing in action. MIA.
Yes, sir.
Then
we got Mark.
Much like the rest of this show, the crowd did not care about 90% of this match. And I will say, at least for me, my biggest problem with this show, other than the obvious that they were in Saudi Arabia, and everybody knows how I fucking feel about that at this point, was the fact that the crowd was dead for almost 100% of this show.
It sure didn't feel like an energetic crowd that did it.
No, and it completely killed the energy of the show because a show like this needs the crowd. If you put this same show in front of a crowd with energy, I'm probably not sitting here complaining as much. But the problem is the crowd didn't care.
Yep. Rusev was gone very quickly. He
Well,
almost would might as well not bother to show up.
well, 2 through 6 were all gone very quickly thanks to
Correct.
Obafemi.
That was Matt Cardona. Was number
Yes.
6.
And then Priest comes out, and he survives long enough to get Javon Evans out there. And poor Javon Evans.
I'll tell you what, his moves got the crowd going a little bit, you know?
He did his best.
Yeah. I thought that the energy was starting to pick up there with number 8, and then number 9 came along. I thought, oh, here we go.
Well, Mr. Iguana got a good pop.
I know he did, but more comedy is not what we need.
He wasn't in there very long.
The worst part about him being eliminated was Damian Priest taking the time to eliminate him and the Iguana when he could have been, he could have got 2 or 3 other guys out, but obviously they didn't want to write it that way. That would have.
Well, it was Trick who threw him out.
Yes, that's right.
Trick comes out. He gets rid of Mr. Iguana. He's in there for a while, but not very long because here comes Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes got a whopping 3 eliminations in this match, and I actually thought for a decent chunk after Braun went out that Cody was just going to win this thing. Thank God that didn't happen. We had a double El Grande Americano spot next, and this was fucking terrible.
Chad Gable and then the other fellow whose name I forget,
Ludwig
von, Lederhosen or some shit. I don't know.
Up next, we had probably the best spot of this entire men's rumble, which was the debut of Powerhouse Hobbs.
Right, and he got to keep his name for all of about 30 seconds. And now
and then they changed it.
Royce Keys. Is that his real name by any?
It's his son's name, I believe it is, and then his mother's maiden name. So it's a combination of 2 significant names to him. So it's not like a nothing burger name.
All right. It has nothing to do with Rolls Royce then. Okay.
No, but maybe he owns a Rolls Royce. Who knows?
Well,
Wouldn't that be funny?
He might if he gets a big paycheck from the WWE.
Yeah. You don't know how much they paid him to go to Saudi Arabia.
No, but it would take an awful lot, I would think.
Yeah, well, you'd think. Anyway, Austin Theory was out next. Nobody cared.
Too bad. Unfortunately.
You like Austin Theory. I don't understand that.
Well, that's because I think he's a good wrestler. Just underused.
Underused or poorly used?
Both.
Bronson Reed was out next. He comes out and immediately commits a murder on Javon Evans. This poor fucking guy. Javon Evans, who was misused and mishandled in NXT for 3 years, comes up to the main roster and is immediately brutalized in the Royal Rumble. Well, you can't make this shit up.
They had to teach him a lesson or something, I guess. Maybe he was in the doghouse, as they say.
Who knows? This company's fucking stupid, Russ. Would you be surprised if they did it for no reason?
Well, they've done that kind of thing in the past, but, supposedly those days were over. That was the old era. Now they're all humane.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Ilya Dragunov came out next, and I said, thank fucking God, thinking maybe he would fix our problems here. Update, folks. Ilya Dragunov didn't fix anything because he wasn't in there long enough to fix anything. Laparca was next. He was out there for all of about 2 seconds.
The latest Laparca. Obviously not the Laparca from the glory days of WCW, better known as the chairman. A whole lot bigger. And the one that passed away a couple of years ago, that wasn't the chairman either. There's been at least a half a dozen of them over the years.
Well, yeah.
But this guy, this Laparca he's so skinny, he almost looks like a skeleton.
Anyway, Dragon Lee came out next. Again, nobody cared.
Oh, I like Dragon
Then it
Lee,
was
but then again, what can you do in a Royal Rumble, right?
uh, then Logan Paul came out next, and he was in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Uh, LA Knight came out and was almost got 3 eliminations, and then was promptly eliminated by Cody Rhodes, dashing any hope of some logic in this booking. And then here came the one that nobody wanted to win, except maybe this crowd in Saudi, because Brock got a louder pop than just about anybody.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
I was surprised to see him with Heyman.
I was not. They've been teasing that anyway. Who cares? Like, yeah. Plus it's Brock Lesnar. Like, right. They're always going to put him back with Heyman eventually. Brock comes in, does a lot of screaming. I mean, this dude did
a lot of suplex, you know.
Well, and then he botches almost immediately because he goes into the corner to give LA Knight a suplex, and he kicks him right in the fucking kidney.
Yeah, but he's just suplexing anybody instead of throwing them over the top rope, which you have to do in order to win the damn match.
Well, anyway, he gets tossed out a little bit later after eliminating a couple of guys, including
who were eliminated? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Cody Rhodes and LA Knight.
Okay, that's right. Thank you.
Because remember, they did the spot where Brock got eliminated, and then Cody tossed LA right after that.
Yep.
Miz came out next. I made a joke to one of my friends that what if Miz wins the Rumble? Good Lord, can you imagine? Then it was Ray Phoenix.
That would be like alternate Earth, I think. Ray Phoenix. Who another guy who was going to do everything when they brought him in, and you never see him on TV.
Then Jey Uso came out. He did all of about nothing, by the way.
This pissed me off. He stops in the middle of the damn match to do the yeet. Mm-hmm. Now, come on. This takes us right back into the toilet. You know? As soon as they get something going, they can't keep a good sequence of action going before they just have to take a dump right in the middle of the ring. What is it with this company?
It's called the good booking we saw for like a year and a half or whatever it was just to placate us and make us feel better. And now they're back to doing whatever the hell they want, and whatever the hell they want is usually not very good.
This, yeah. I did make it. The crowd liked it, but they liked doing that thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeet.
Anyway, Roman Reigns came out next, and he teased doing the run it back thing again with the more yeeting, and I thought, oh my God, Russ is going to be pissed. And then Roman proceeds to murder him.
That was all
right. The last 4 were very predictable. It was Jacob Fatu, Penta, and Randy Orton, followed by Gunther. No Chris Jericho. That's a story in and of itself.
Yeah.
That
was
the lack of Jericho.
That was an online story that a lot of people gave credence to, but you and I have learned to not believe anything until we see it. And sometimes not even then.
Well, I was told that he probably wouldn't be there anyway, so...
Hey, he'd make more of an impact if he showed up on Monday Night Raw.
I agree.
Because you wouldn't have, competing with about 70 other people.
And you wouldn't have a Saudi crowd to contend with. I don't think they're in Saudi Arabia on Monday, are they?
I have no idea. If they do,
we can look after this.
It'll be another early show.
I'm fine with the early shows.
Yep.
But it's
I don't know. Netflix now, but yep.
Gunther comes out at number 30. An underwhelming number 30.
Right.
But number 30 nonetheless.
He was a little winded, but still he managed to get a little bit done.
We get down to the final 3. It's Roman, Logan, and Gunther.
Gunther, yep.
Gunther tosses Logan Paul about 60 feet in the air, and then Logan lands on his face. Can confirm he's still alive. Sorry, folks.
No, that's all right. I know you're not a huge fan of the gentleman, are you?
No, I'm really not. He's a walking piece of human garbage.
Let's That's what. Well, see, I don't know that. That's what my kids keep telling me. I tell them he's a pretty good wrestler, and they say, "Dad, you should go online. He's a piece of shit. Wait till you read about it." I say, "Okay, I believe you."
He is a piece of shit. I'll tell you about it sometime, just not on the air. Because
Right.
some of it, if I said it, we'd just get taken down.
Well, that's not good. Then that's not good.
Anyway, Roman and Gunther are the final two. They have a good final sequence. This was actually not a bad sequence for the end, as short as it was.
Right.
I think Gunther, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, Gunther has to win this match. There's no way that Gunther doesn't win.
Yeah. Well,
And what the fuck did they do?
at this point, I had a feeling, being as how they were in Saudi Arabia, especially, I thought, yeah, they're going to put they're going to have the OTC, as they call him, the one tough cookie.
One tribal chief, only tribal chief, whatever. Anyway,
Red,
Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble.
Right. And I didn't see that coming. Didn't expect it. Could have been, like I said, it could have been worse. We don't have Brock Lesnar in title contention. I don't think we'll probably see him again for a while.
Hey, folks, if you want some good news coming out of this show and something to be positive about, Charlotte Flair didn't win and Brock Lesnar didn't win. That's a win right there. That's a win for us.
Charlotte Flair, she was in there quite a while, though.
Unfortunately, yes.
She did. Well, I tell you what, I thought that putting her in the tag team with Alexa Bliss was better than having her do solo matches. I think that working with, she did not get a warm reception when she first came back at all. And I think putting her with Alexa Bliss elevated her with the fans. They haven't really capitalized on it. Sometimes they'll do something, and they get that initial pop and good response from the fans. But then you notice they do nothing with it, or they just let it peter out. They don't. It's like
that's the problem.
They got this formula, and like these are the dozen or so people that are going to be on the top and are going to stay on the top. And these are the players in our storyboard. And if you don't like the characters we're using, then tough.
There is another thing I want to complain about. They let Javon Evans do a bunch in this match, and they let Oba Femi do a bunch in this match. And then they get eliminated in the most bullshit manners possible. Oba gets thrown out on a throwaway spot with Lesnar.
Right.
I don't even remember how Javon got tossed out.
I couldn't tell you who did it.
No.
I just know that he's a lightweight compared to most of them. It seemed like they threw him pretty hard.
So anyway, LA Knight not winning is an idiotic mistake at best. I think both of us probably would have booked LA Knight or Braun Breaker to win this match if we were in charge.
Well, because that's what the fans would have liked the best. Not necessarily me, but the fans that are making the company money. As a businessman, I'd say, hell yeah. As a fan, I'd do something else. But, if I book like a fan, it'd go broke. So there you go.
Anyway, this whole fucking show can be summed up in one word. Underwhelming.
Underwhelming.
It was not a bad show necessarily. It was underwhelming.
Yes.
Which perhaps it shouldn't be for the fact that they were in Saudi Arabia. And the fact that there were just going to be certain people who were just not going to be on this show because they were in Saudi Arabia.
They certainly didn't have to be a 4-hour show. How many times did we hear? I don't know. You missed the pre-show, but by the time they were bringing up how this used to be a parking lot and how many bricks it took to, I was thinking, how much did the laborers get paid to throw that thing together so fast? Because by the time they talked about it on the main show, I sat through the pre-show and I'm like, I've already heard this, travel on promo for Saudi Arabia about 3 or 4 fucking times now. You know,
And if I hear it 3 or 4 more, I'm gonna snap somebody's fucking neck.
and I'm sorry. Hey, I can get away with this because I'm not planning on ever immigrating to Saudi Arabia, so I'm not worried about criticizing the government.
Really?
But I'm happy for the fans there. The people there enjoy the freedom that they are getting. You notice that when the women first wrestled there, the garb that they wore looked like prison issue stuff. Now at least they can even have some color, some ornamentation, a little bit of hairstyle, makeup. I mean, compared to where it was, a few years ago, it's quite different. At least there's a little bit more individual self-expression being tolerated.
Yes, Raw's in Philadelphia on Monday, by the way. So that's a good bet for a Jericho return. Philadelphia is a good spot to do that.
Yeah.
And I think they're in Tampa on Friday, so maybe he'll be on SmackDown. So, I just want to point out, again, I did not think this was a bad show. I thought this show was underwhelming. I thought this crowd sucked. I thought the fact that they were in Saudi Arabia for a show of this magnitude was fucking stupid from the get-go, from the minute they announced it. Well, and if this is what WrestleMania is going to look like next year,
oh man,
buddy, we're well past the point of that mattering. But like, what? You're going to do Saudi Arabia in front of that crowd? Or Saudi Arabia. You're going to do WrestleMania in front of that crowd?
That'd be very careful.
That crowd?
Yeah. Tough crowd.
First of all, me and you talked about this on the show on Wednesday. The fact that there was only 4 matches on this show was baffling.
Yeah.
And I know they allegedly did 2 on the pre-show. Is that correct?
No, there was not. Nothing.
Okay, maybe that was yesterday then. I don't know.
Bruce Pritchard went on the record saying that 4 matches for a premium live event is perfect. It's optimum. Because if they do more than 4 matches, the fans are not going to be able to retain it all in their memory.
What?
We're that stupid. Yeah, I didn't know.
Apparently.
When they go more than 4 matches, I get confused. The reason why Bruce Pritchard was probably saying that is because that's what the people that own the company want. So they got to put a positive spin on it. Part of his job is to polish a turd, right? More or less. Anything else interesting or exciting going on in the world of wrestling that is not directly Rumble related?
Well, I want to talk. I want to talk about the road to WrestleMania first because
sure, okay,
that gets a little more clear now that we know where we're headed. I would certainly have to think that Liv Morgan is going to wrestle Stephanie McCurr at WrestleMania. I would have to think that that's the case. Unless they really want her to work with Jade. But
Jade
why would you take her off Raw?
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about Jade. Some people not enjoying working with her.
No.
They're getting hurt.
There is another world, and they did tease this a little bit. There's another world where Tiffany Stratton, now that she's back, gets her rematch, beats Jade for the title, and it's Liv versus Tiff at Mania. I don't necessarily want to see that, but I don't think that would be a bad match.
That's because you Liv Morgan and Tiffany Stratton. My God, they're both your girlfriends. You wouldn't know who to cheer for.
That's not...
I'm messing with you.
You're an asshole. Anyway... What was I saying now? You distracted me.
Of course I distract you. I was talking about hot-looking blonde chicks, and you go all, just like I do.
Oh, now I remember. Who do you want to see Liv Morgan work with at Mania? If you had to pick somebody in this confounded women's division they have.
Well, not Jade.
Not Jade. Yeah, yeah.
Although she,
I mean,
Liv Morgan could have a good match with her, but
well, yeah.
I'm, I'm starting to give up on Jade Cargill. You're gonna laugh at me and say, "No shit, right?" You've been telling me for a year.
You're just now giving up on Jade Cargill. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean, she still, I tell you, if she doesn't ever accomplish anything other than looking absolutely fantastic, she at least did that. I'll tell you that.
Okay, Uncle Russ.
She could go back to being a fitness model, and that would be just fine.
She's fucking horrible, and you know it.
No, she's fit. She's fit. Maybe she just needs to limber up a little more.
No, I'm talking about as a wrestler, Russ.
I know. I'm just messing with you. Hey, she moves around the ring better than Lash Legend.
Yeah, so would I.
No, come on now. You know that's not true.
All right. Well,
who else?
I would assume it's going to be Roman Reigns and CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I just assume.
Absolutely. And do you think CM Punk is going to get that title back? Or, keep that title,
If he doesn't, I think they're fucking stupid.
Right. I do too.
Which I think they're fucking stupid anyway. But, I think they're even fucking dumber than I think they are right now.
Yes.
Pile of horseshit that would be if they put the belt back on Roman when he only works 12 dates a year. Or whatever the hell it is now.
Right. That's almost like a Hulk Hogan schedule, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Probably.
But I would
money too.
I would presume it's going to be Royce Keys versus Bronson Reed at Mania in some capacity as well. They teased that during the show. Yeah. They didn't touch, but they did the stare down.
Right. Well, Hobbs, I think, is got a lot of potential, and I think he's got a good chance to succeed there because Tony Khan seems to always have a little problem booking the big guys. He
should have been the one to beat Moxley for the title. We talked about it at the time that Hobbs made the most sense when they had him set up to win the title this time last year. Because remember, it was this time last year that he was pretty much set up to win the AEW World title, and they biffed it because they wanted to keep it on Moxley so Moxley could lose to Hangman, which that ended up working out. I'm not complaining about how it worked out in the end. That was a wait-and-see situation, and they were right. Absolutely. Right. It worked out. But there was another way you could have done that, which was Hobbs beats Moxley, and he can drop it back to Moxley later if that's what you want to do.
Right.
You could have told that story anyway. Now they're...
By the way, just a little quick note as we're recording this a little bit later this evening on AEW Collision, there is one match that's probably worth checking out, and that's Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Versus Briscoe. Yeah. Versus...
let's talk about Dynamite a little bit. I did not see all of Dynamite. I'm just going to be fully upfront here. I did not see all of it. But I did see... One of the last things I saw was Tommaso Ciampa debuting after the Briscoe match. And I said, and I quote, "What the fuck?"
Yep. I didn't see that coming.
Because here's why I said what the fuck. I had a very specific reason for saying what the fuck. Because I didn't think he'd go there. Or if he did, I thought it would be 6 months. Or a year.
Right.
I thought he was going to take time off. Because this guy's got...
He was just on WWE a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I knew that it looked like they were working him out of that angle with Johnny...
Gargano.
Oh, thank you, Jar. I always want to call him something insulting. Johnny, never smiles or whatever, Anyway.
What? Well, his contract expired. That's what happened. His contract... he was not released. He was not fired. There was nothing insidious there. His deal expired. He didn't sign a new one. See ya, bye.
Right. So,
And he was free and clear.
this could be a really good match.
Yes. I will actually be watching Collision tonight, which I never do. We'll be done with this show just in time to watch Collision. I presume that match will go on last. There's no way they start the show with that match.
Right.
I'm going to have Collision on. I don't know how much of it I'll actually watch. I'll watch that match, though.
Right. But every once in a while, they do have a good match. And that's always the show, too, where they usually feature FTR more on Saturday night than on Wednesday. Unfortunately, they don't have a great number of excellent tag teams for them to work with, in my opinion. They've got some good tag teams, but FTR has been kind of wasted. Even as champions, they've been wasted. That's why I always have bitched for years that FTR never gets their due.
I agree with you.
All right, good. I'm glad we agree on something.
We agree on most things, actually.
Actually, we do. Yes, sir.
So Tommaso Ciampa is officially All Elite. He is signed. He got the graphic and everything on Twitter, whatever. Russ, we don't have another pay-per-view for a little bit, buddy.
Not till Russell. Wait a minute. We've got AEW Australia coming up here in February. If we want to watch that one.
Well, we're going to watch it. It's just a matter of, is that a pay-per-view or is that a...
Well, maybe that is one of the regular Saturday shows because they have names for them that sound like pay-per-views.
I am pulling it up.
Okay.
It doesn't say. I would presume it's going to be like last year's Grand Slam because remember last year was on Max. I would presume it's going to be the same thing.
All right.
If that's the case, obviously it'll be part of the normal show that week. If it's not, and it ends up being a pay-per-view, maybe we go live after. I don't know. But for those of you that enjoy watching this live or pre-recorded, whatever, this live thing is going to become more of a regular thing, courtesy of Raw Live Studios and Lock TV. We're going to be doing this just about every week, I would think, as a live show, barring, scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. If there's a hang-up somewhere, obviously we may just pre-record the show and put it out that way. But
or a blizzard, if a blizzard,
blizzard may take us out.
Or the rapture, we'd still be here. Never mind,
Yeah, we'd still do the show at that point, I'm sure. But that's going to just about do it for this week, I think, unless you have something else you want to talk about there, Uncle Russ.
Not at this point. I probably could come with something, but I don't know how helpful it would be. I'd rather end things on a positive note. I think I'll go.
Well, what would you? Oh, hello, Brock.
Oh, there we
hello,
are.
Brock.
Well, he's looking pretty handsome there. He looks like he's one of them guys that took them steroid pills. There you go, Roman Reigns.
Oh, speaking of steroids, hi, Roman.
Yeah.
Hey, Damon, can you do me a favor? Can you find the picture? Type in Brock Lesnar screaming into Google Images.
Well, we saw a lot of that, a lot of suplexes and even more screaming.
Yeah,
and when he screams, he has to, he makes sure the veins just pop out,
Yeah,
like some kind of steroided up monster.
He is a steroided up monster. Damon, if you can't find it, don't worry about it.
But I wouldn't call him that in person. I'd be nice to him, Wouldn't want to piss him off.
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't you?
I'd avoid him. I'd go the other way.
I'd be cordial if I had to talk to him. Possibly out of fear.
All right. Well, Uncle Russ, what's your final grade for the Rumble?
C-.
Yep, I'm going the same.
All right.
There's a nice graphic. That's a better graphic than the one they actually used.
Yeah. You know,
Holy.
there you go.
There he is.
All right. Well, I'll mention once again, that this last week I went on Netflix. I found the first Royal Rumble won by Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and that show was more entertaining to me than 90% of what the WWE is doing today. If that makes me a old fart, I don't care. That's fine.
What is that face?
I don't know, but maybe he's not a fan of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's
Maybe.
Very well.
Hey, Damon, can you put a face on the screen of how Roman Reigns winning the Rumble made you feel? Because your reaction earlier was pretty visceral for somebody who doesn't watch wrestling.
Oh, there you go. See what I'm talking about there? Now, you got to admit there, man, you like that as much as I like my great big giant muscle-bound black girls.
Well, I plead the fifth.
All right, I'll take that as a yes.
All right, let's end this show before we get completely fucking in trouble. Thank you all so much for watching. Deb, I saw you in the chat. Thank you so much. Thanks to our producer, Damon, Raw Live Studios. Uncle Russ, thanks for showing up for work today. We will see you next week. We'll probably be live next Sunday at like 5 Central, I would have to guess. And we're not going to be live Super Bowl Sunday. That I'm not doing. Hell no.
No.
We might do the show on Saturday that week. But
yeah, that'll work.
See y'all next week. Have a good one.
All right.
That's Damon. Get us out of here.